So to give you a bit more context of trauma point one, I was 18, give or take, just finished school, had no idea what I wanted to do in life. School was basically just a doss around, I was there for the fun. I wasn't the most academic. But the one thing I did know is that I was a grafter. I've always worked since about 13. I've done everything, literally everything. I've filled pillows up in a factory and sealed them. I've been a cleaner. I've worked in restaurants. I've worked in bars. I've worked for catering events. I've worked in a lighting showroom. I've done near enough everything that I could do. Any job that I could get, I'll do it for a bit of extra money. So when I'd finished school, not knowing what I wanted to do, an opportunity came about working for my brother, who was doing import and export at the time. Furniture, mainly wall art, importing from China, selling around the world. And on the face of it, it was great. It was cool. You know, there was an opportunity to travel to China, dealing with people all around the world and making sales. And I thought, you know what, why not? Because originally I went in to help him out because he was pretty much solo with someone else, and that someone else left and needed some help. I wasn't doing anything, so I thought I may as well make the most of my time. Ended up helping him out. Um, and things kind of progressed from there, got deeper and deeper into it. And it was just one of them. Like, I can look back now, obviously, I'm much older now. Um, had I known everything I know now back then it would be a completely different story. But I was, like I say, I was too young. I was a bit naive. I wasn't immature, but I just had no experience in that almost corporate sales background lifestyle. So there was a lot to learn. And I think it was more that it wasn't so much how I got treated, but I think it was more the infrastructure just didn't kind of exist to try and help me and nurture me. Because I was a young age, let's face it, 18. How much life experience do we have at 18? You know, not that many people in the world have much life experience then. And let's face it, you just want to go out. You know, you want to go out, you want to go drinking. And the last thing you want to do is settle down into a proper full time job. Um, but it was it wasn't all bad, don't get me wrong, but it was just hard. It was stressful, you know, working long hours, working long days. Sometimes there was days I'd work 24 hours, like legitimately work doing all nighters, sat in the office trying to prepare for presentations and, you know, going to trade expos in Birmingham or flying out to China. And it was great on that front, but I was just too young, I was too early for it. And it basically just got, the long and short is it got to a point where I just hated it. It wasn't for me, and it wasn't so easy to get out. Um, you know, they do say you should never get involved working with family. It's not the case. This was just different. Like, I don't want to speak badly of my brother because obviously I love him to bits and so much has changed. It's just I wasn't ready or right for that job at that time, you know. So I understand that. I had my flaws back then. I know exactly what they were. Um, but I see it as a massive learning curve in my life. So whilst it was I class it as traumatic because I hated it. I went to bed every night, especially for the last year or two. I absolutely dreaded going in the next day. You know, so that brought on some mental instabilities and it brought on a few sleep issues because I didn't want to get fall asleep because I knew that once I wake up I'd have to go to work and it could be the next 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 hours. It could just be a hellish day. Other things happened in between. I think I'd lost my last grandparent as well whilst I was at that job, and I think I was 19, 18, 19 at the time. And I was really close to that grandparent, and that hit me hard. And again, I was at an age where I didn't really know how to handle grief. Um, yeah, and that's going to play its part as well. So it's almost like double trauma. But that's the long and short of that one. I'll probably say this quite a few times in the next couple of videos, but I'm a huge believer of everything happens for a reason because taken aside my mum's illness, which you would have heard about in the first video, um, if I hadn't have done the 6.5 years working for my brother, I would never have put myself in a position of going off to do a year out in Australia. Went out on my own, had a stroke of luck where someone that I knew was actually heading out there as well. He went out a week before me. So it was nice to know someone there, had some long distance family that we'd connected with. But that year absolutely shaped the rest of my life. It's hands down one of the best, if not the best experiences of my life. The people that I met, the life experience that I gained, the places that I saw, the growing up and maturity phase was just unrecognisable by the end of it. So good things can still come out of bad things. So that's just a bit of insight into trauma point number 1. I'm going to go into detail on trauma point 2 and trauma point 3. Once I've finished that, I'll go into more detail of everything that I've done to help myself get through all of these times and how I've got to where I am right now.